So I wanted to take on that persona, a young girl who is the victim of sexual abuse, an older partner, as many young girls fare, who's pregnant, who's sent to an abortion clinic, often coerced, sent, to cover up the crime. And what happens to her at these Planned Parenthoods, these tax funded, government supported Planned Parenthoods. And so my first Planned Parenthood walking into was in Los Angeles, posing as a 15-year-old girl with a much older boyfriend in his early 20s, saying that, I was pregnant. What do I do? And it was shocking to me. So the script was pretty straightforward. I was just presenting myself to see how they would respond. So there wasn't some elaborate, like, I'm going to get them to say this or that. I really wanted to see, how do you respond to an underage girl alone who's pregnant, who indicates she's in a sexual relationship with a much older man, which is fairly rare for a girl to be explicit about. So I wasn't going in there saying, I'm in a relationship with a much older man. I was going to only offer that information depending on how the conversation, if that was something they solicited. So I wanted to present it as naturally as possible. Long story short, I go in, there's paperwork to fill out. I ask for help on it. I say, they're asking my age, what do you need this for? And they say, well, we need you to put down. And I said, well, I'm only 15. And then, they said, okay. And I indicated distress because to put down in the paperwork my age, and it's asking about my partner who's much older, am I going to get in trouble? And I said, well, and he's much older, he's 23. And then the Planned Parenthood worker didn't even like skip a beat. I mean, it's like as if this is such a normal situation for her. She just kind of laughed and she said, and this, by the way, was a clear case of statutory rape in California. So it should have triggered mandatory reporting law for her because of my disclosure. But instead, she laughed and she said that I should figure out a birth date that works. She tells me to lie about my age on the paperwork so that I could get a secret abortion there and there'd be no questions asked. That same day, I went to a second Planned Parenthood with very similar results. And I realized this is wild. There is no reporting happening here. They could care less. Their focus is to sell abortions. It is not to figure out what dire straits these young girls are in. They just are selling abortions.
Subscribe to the Pro-Life Guys podcast YouTube channel for more clips like this, and for full episodes of the Pro-Life Guys podcast, find us on all of your favorite podcast catchers.